Hey, it's Bonnie, and today I'm be making a tutorial on how to create your own custom blocks for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. If you didn't know, they added a lot of new features to so you could create blocks. They made it a lot easier, and they added a lot of new things that you could do. Let me show you an example. So now we are able to make custom crafting tables. So you can make your own custom crafting table with the custom grid. Max size is 3 by 3, I think. And they also added the ability to add custom geometries to the blocks. So now you can give them a custom 3D model. Let me just show you a few examples of a few things I made. So I made a chair, a couch, a table, and a few others. And you're also able to interact with them now. So this custom lamp I made, and it does work. So if I set this to night, this lamp does work. It does turn on and off. So this is a new feature that they added. For now, this only works on the beta version, but once they update the game, you will not need to be in the beta. But for now, you're going to need at least a 1.16.100.56 for this to work. But like I said, they're probably going to update the game soon, so you will not need to be in the beta. And yeah, let me show you how to create your own custom blocks. This tutorial will be using Windows 10. But once you make them, then you can just put them on any other device. And yeah, let me show you how this is done. Once you're in your computer, you're going to need two programs. You're going to need Bridge, that's for creating behavior packs and resource packs. And you're also going to need BlockBench, this for creating custom models for your blocks or entities, whatever you want to use this for. And I'll leave the download link for both of these in the description. And the first thing you want to do is, once you have them installed, you want to open up BlockBench, and you want to go here where it says Bedrock Model, the one that says Model for Bedrock Edition. Make sure you click on this one. So you click on this one, and you want to give your file a name. I'm going to show you how to create a table just as an example. So if I'll just call it, or whatever you want to call it, name this whatever you want. And for the identifier, same thing. Just use the same name. Make sure you remember what you put as an identifier. So for the model identifier, make sure you remember what you put here. And then hit confirm. And then here, this is where you could create your model. This isn't going to be very detailed tutorial. I'm just going to show you some basic stuff. So to add a cube, all you want to do is go here where it says add cube. And this will add a cube, and you could move this around. So using these tools, you could do a few different things. So this is the move tool. This one is used just to move your block around wherever you want. Front to back, or side to side, or up and down, whatever you want. And you can use the resize tool to change the size of the block. So you can make this whatever size you want, or change the shape however you wanna, whatever you want to do. And you can use the rotate tool to rotate the block. So you can rotate it on any direction that you want. The pivot tool, so you can change the pivot point. So where we have this point, that's where the block or whatever shape you made, this is where it's gonna rotate from. So if I change it over here, this shape is gonna rotate from this point. So if I try rotating it again, it's gonna start rotating from that point. Or you could just click on this one, and this will center it, so this will put it in the middle. So now whenever you try to rotate it, it will rotate from the middle. And if you wanted to make a block, the size of a block, if you didn't know this, it's 16 by 16, so it's the same size as this grid. So if you wanted to make a shape that is exactly the size of a block, that would be a 16 by 16. So it would be 16 on the X and Z axis, and same with the Y. So this grid is the exact same size as a block. So if you want to make one that's exactly the size of a block, you can just make it the same size as this grid, and you can see the size here. So you could also change the size using this. And same for the Y. The Y is the height. So if you make this 16 high, this would be the exact size of a block, 16 by 16. And I'm just going to create a table. I'm not very good at making 3D models, but I'm just going to show you an example. So you could also add more cubes. So if you click here again, it's going to add another cube. And let me just make a table really quick. I'm not very good at modeling, so this might not look too good. Another thing you could do is that you can just duplicate the block. So if I want to duplicate this, I can just duplicate it and then just move it around. This will make it a lot faster. If they're going to be the exact same, then you just duplicate them. It makes things a lot easier. Or you could also change the name so you know which block is which. But I'm just going to keep duplicating them since this is just going to be a quick example of something that you can make. And I'm just going to leave it like this, just a very simple table. And once you create your model, then you want to give it a texture. To give this a texture, all you have to do is go here where it says create texture. So you just click here and give your texture name. I'm going to call it table. And then click here where it says template, and this will create a texture for you. And here you can change the resolution of your texture, but I would just leave it at 16, or it could get lag if you make it too detailed. So I'm just going to leave it at 16, but you could choose whichever one of these you want. And then just hit confirm. And this is exactly how it's going to look whenever you add this block into the game. This is exactly how it's going to look. And then what you could do is go here where it says paint, and you can paint your texture. So if you're good at making textures, you could just create your own textures here. It does have a few tools that you can use to make your textures. It has a paintbrush. It also has a paint bucket, and you could also change the color. So if you use the bucket, you could change the colors much easier, and just switch the colors around to whatever colors you want. But I'm not very good at making textures, so I'm not gonna create a texture for this. I'm just gonna leave it like this. It also has an eraser, so if you wanted to erase. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you could give it more detail if you want. Once you have your model and your texture, what you want to do next is go here where it says file, go here where it says export, and then export the Bedrock geometry. This will export the model. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop for now. You can save it wherever you want. Just make sure you remember where you save it. I'm just going to save it on my desktop. And you also want to save the texture. So just go here where the texture is and then click on this save icon. And I'm also just going to save it to my desktop. So once you have your texture and your model saved, you can just close this. And this is the geometry, and this is the texture. Once you have both of these, now what you want to do is create a behavior pack and a resource pack. So open up Bridge, and you want to create a new project, and you want to give your project a name and a description. I'm just going to call it Block Tutorial. And I'm just going to put BP because it's the behavior pack, and give it a description. You can type anything you want here, it doesn't really matter. And then for the target Minecraft version, for this tutorial, you're going to need at least 1.16.100. You need at least this one, but if there's a higher version, then click on the higher version. But for now, I'm going to use this one. And then hit create. Once you do that, this will create a behavior pack for you, and it will create a few of the folders and the files that you need. So once you created your behavior pack, the first thing you want to do is go here where it says manifest.json. Go here where it says header. Go here where it says name. And this is where you can change the name of your behavior pack. I'm going to call it Block Tutorial. And then BP, so I know this is the behavior pack. And then you could add a description or just leave it like this. It doesn't really matter. I usually just put my name, so I'm just going to put my name here. But you can put whatever you want there. And then you just want to save this, so you can hit Control S and that will save it, or go up here and go to File and then Save File. And then you don't need the manifest.json anymore, so you can close this. And now you want to make a block file, so you go here where it says New File, and you look for this one, the one that says block, and give the file a name. I'm going to call it, since I'm making a table, I'm just going to call it table, but you can call this whatever you want, doesn't matter. And here where it says template, click on where it says blank block and hit create. For format version, just click here, and this will automatically add the format version for you. And then you want to open up this one where it says Minecraft block. Go to the description, and you want to give it an identifier. For the identifier, the first thing you want to do is give it a namespace. I'm just going to put TUT for tutorial, and then the name of the block. So I'm going to call this one table since I'm making a table, but you can name it whatever you want. Just make sure you remember what you put as an identifier. Then just hit enter. And this is your identifier for the block. You're going to need this for a few things, so remember what you put as an identifier, because this is what it's going to use in game to identify your block. Let me show you an example of what I mean. So if you wanted to give yourself this block inside the game, you can use the give command. So you would do give add is, and then whatever you put as an identifier, I put TUT and then table. So that's how I would give myself the block inside of the game, but that's just an example. But the identifier is also used for a few other things, so just make sure you remember this. And then just save it, and you can close this for now. There's still a few things you're going to add to this, but for now, that's all you have to do. Then what you want to do is go here where it says resource pack, and then go here where it says create. Give your resource pack a name and a description. I'm just going to call it Block Tutorial, and then RP, so I know this is the resource pack. And then for the description, just type in whatever you want there, it doesn't matter. Then hit create, and then the same thing again, same thing as the behavior pack. You want to go here where it says the manifest.json, and you want to give your resource pack a name. I'm gonna call it the exact same thing again. But you can name it whatever you want. And you also want to give it a description, or just leave it like that. And I'm just gonna put my name again. Once you do that, just save it, and you can close this now. You don't need that anymore. Now I'm gonna add the 3D model and the texture pack to the resource pack. So make sure you're here where it says resource pack, and then click here where it says open in Explorer. This will open up the folder where your resource packs are saved, and look for the one that you just made. So this is the one I just made, so block tutorial. And the first thing you want to do is make a new folder and call it models, and open that folder, and inside of this folder make another folder and call it entity, and open this folder up too. And now you want to put your 3D model inside of this folder. So wherever you saved it is the 3D model that I made, the one that's called table.geo, and you just want to put it inside of this folder. So now the 3D model is inside of the resource pack. And then what you want to do is add the texture pack. So go back to the resource pack, and then you go to textures. You make a new folder, call it blocks, and open that folder. And inside of this folder, this is where the texture pack is going to go. So just drop it in there. So now the behavior, so now the 3D model and the texture pack are both inside of the resource pack. Once you do that, go back to bridge and go here where it says refresh, and the new folders that you made and the files are in here now. Now you want to go here where it says textures, then look for this one that says terrain_texture, and then you want to go here where it says texture data, and here you want to give it a name. So for this texture, I'm going to call it table since it's going to be used for the table. But you can name this whatever you want, and just make sure you remember what name you give it here. And then you want to go here where it says textures, go here where it says add object, and then click here again. It's going to show a 0, click on that, and then go here where it says add value, and this is where you're going to specify where your texture is. So right now the texture that I just made, it's inside the textures folder, and then inside of the blocks folder, and then the name of the texture, which is table. So whenever I use this one, this name, it's gonna specify this specific texture, and we're gonna use this right now. So just save it, Control S, or go here where it says file and then save file. And now we're gonna add the texture and the geometry to your block. So to do that, you go here, you go back here where it says behavior packs. Go to your blocks and open up the block you made. This is the one I made, the one I called it table, but whatever you named it. And the first thing we're going to do is add the geometry. So click here where it says components and look for the geometry. So it's going to say Minecraft geometry. Click on this, and this is where you're going to specify the geometry file, the 3D model. So if you don't know what the name of your geometry, you can go back to your resource packs. Go to the resource pack, go to the folder that says models, entity, and then look for the 3D model you made. And if you don't know the name of your geometry, you could open this in Notepad and look for the one where it says description, then identifier, and then it's going to say geometry.table. So just copy this and you want to paste it here where it says add value. So first you want to put geometry and then the name that you gave your geometry. I named it table, and then just hit enter. So this added the 3D model to your block. And now to add the texture pack, you want to go here where it says components and then add object and look for the one that says material instances. So it's going to say Minecraft material instances. Click on this one, and with this one selected, you want to go here where it says add object, click here, and then texture. Here's where you specify what texture this block is going to use. So for me, I named the table. So if you go back, so if you did it correctly, we're here where it says terrain underscore texture. I named it table. So here I just choose the one that says table, and by doing that, it's going to specify that it's going to use this texture, the one that's inside of the textures folder, the blocks folder, and then it's called table. So this is how you give it the texture. And then for the render method, you also want to click on that and then go here where it says add value and choose this one blend. If blend doesn't work or it doesn't render your model correctly, then you can use alpha test or opaque. But I'm just going to use blend, and then just save it or go file and then save file. Now you can open up Minecraft and test it, see if it loads correctly. Once Minecraft loads, you could add it to an existing world or create a new one. I'm just going to create a new one really quick. And when I'm recording this, this is still just a beta feature, but this might change later on. But for now, you want to activate here where it says next gameplay update. You want to activate this, and you also want to activate the experimental add-on features. So you want to activate both of these, or it might not work. But this might change in a different version. You might not need to do this on a newer version, but for now you do have to do this. Then you just want to activate your behavior pack. So once you have your behavior pack activated, it should activate the resource pack for you automatically. And then you just want to load up your world or create a new one. I'm doing this on a new world, so I'm gonna hit create. Alright, once the world loads, you can give yourself the block. So you can do give add s and then then use the identifier. So I named it like this, tut, and then table. But whatever you chose as an identifier, just put it here, and it should give you the block. And it does render incorrectly in my hand, and you could also drop it and it will also be a 3D block. Then you can just place it, but there's still a few things you gotta change. So right now, you can also change the sound it makes whenever you place it and break it. And another thing you gotta fix is here where the name is. Right now it's called tile.tut table.name. So you also want to fix that, and let me show you how to do it. So just save and quit and go back. Then you want to go back to bridge and you close these. You close this. You don't need this anymore. To fix those, you gotta go here where it says resource packs. You want to go here where it says blocks. And here you want to look for your block, look for the identifier. I named it tut and then table, so this is the block I just made. Then you want to go here where it says add object, and then click here where it says sound, and here you can change the sound the block makes whenever it's placed or broken. So for now, just as an example, I'm going to change it to glass. So now it's going to sound like glass whenever I break it, and just save it you can close this. And to fix the name, you want to go inside of the resources. You want to go here where it says text, and then look for your language. My game language is set to English, so I click on this one. And here, this is where you can fix the name. So just type in tile. So to fix it, you type in tile, then dot, and then the identifier, which mine is TUT and then tail, but yours might be different, whatever you named it. And then dot name. And then you want to put an equal sign, and whatever you put after the equal sign, that's what the block is going to be called inside of the game. So I'm just going to call it table, and then I'm just going to save it. And if I go back into the game, it should be fixed now. So now when I place it and break it, it changed the sound to glass, but you can change it to whatever sound you want. I just did that as an example, and the name should also be fixed. So now it's just called table. And yeah, that's how you fix it. And now if you want to upload this add-on, what you could do is go here inside of bridge, here where it says package. You click on it and you go down here. And what this did is that it made the behavior pack into an MC pack file. So now you could install it on a different device or upload it whatever you want to do. So you can just copy this or upload it wherever you want. And you also want to do the same thing for the resource pack. Go here and then where it says package, and this will package it up for you. Turn it into an MC pack file too. So this is the behavior pack and this is the resource pack. And there's a lot more things that you could do to the block file, but the video would be too long, so probably just do that on a different video. But if you have any questions, just let me know.